Hello dudes, this is Uncle Jack with another eFootball 2025 long video. My throat is kind of fucked, so I'm gonna be talking like Christian Bale, I'm the Batman kind of thing. But yeah, I was in the need of waiting to keep making these videos, or I had to choose between waiting and doing the thing with this stupid voice, and I hate to be told what to do and when to do it, so fuck it, I'm gonna do it this way. Either it's gonna be interesting and somebody's gonna watch it, or it's not going to be interesting and it's not going to like really matter the voice I use. So we're gonna keep going with the second part of building a team from scratch. I'm gonna be forgetting stuff for sure, so some things are gonna be missing because I'm disorganized and I hate to work, so this is like trying to help but without actually doing a lot of effort. So the first thing is I forgot to show you that I'm actually capable of reaching second division. That's a medal for 24-25, which means first season of 2025. So I reached the second division, and now I'm also in the second division. It's funny because I reached the thing like 3 days ago. I needed like 30 points and I got exactly 30 points to be 1501, so I just knocked on the door and then I stopped playing because I had to do stuff, and it was enough prize for me, second division and 5 position training and 5 skill training. So yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that with my team or my tactics and formation and gimmicks and my players and the type of player I use, you as an average player or even poor player, you're gonna be able to have a solid third division or even second division. I'm not promising first division because first, I am not the Batman, and second, I'm not that good. This is for normal players. With me, everybody can enjoy, and it's not gonna be like empty promises of reaching something that it's almost impossible to reach, because, okay, let's check this thing one more time. 0.2% of world players on PlayStation can be proud of being first division. So what the fuck? 4.4 are third division, 1.5 is second, so 1.5, you have to be proud of being that 1.5. And you know, no, I can't check it here, but if you check the first 1,000, like, they are all using full epic, completely broken teams, which is not bad. I mean, it's awesome. I would love to be the same, but I'm poor, so yeah. Poor is like an obstacle as a general rule, not in eFootball. Being poor, it's an obstacle for almost everything. I mean, being healthy, it's like kind of being, it's kind of better than being rich, but then you know, you should be rich if you can. All right, so I was going to talk about functions or functions. I don't know if that's the name. It's in match roles. Okay, not functions, like roles. So, captain. It is supposed to having the proper captain gives you the ability to slow down the lowering of stamina. Your players are going to last longer during the match, and that's very important. So you have to pick a captain who has, let's see, leadership or something. Captaincy. Okay, the word is captaincy. So you can use whatever player you feel like it's good for you. Which captaincy? I think Messi has captaincy. Yes, maybe Bellingham. No, so it's well, Messi in this case, Costa Curta, and Saliba. No. Well, okay. So the only thing I have to add about captaincy is that if you switch players, you might lose the player who has the captaincy. And I think the AI substitutes the role automatically to another guy with captaincy. But it might happen that you don't have anyone else with captaincy. And then you will be out of captains, like real captains, and your team is gonna get tired faster. That's a no. That's not good. Now, a very good choice is to give captaincy to one guy who's never gonna be out of the team. Even if you switch players before starting the match. For example, in my case, Costa Curta is epic. He's never gonna be tired. He has 100 stamina. He has very good stats. He's never gonna be out of the team unless I get, I don't know, epic Lilian Thuram or epic Bergomi. All right, if I get that, Costa Curta might be out of the team, but that will be a very strange scenario. Okay, let's go back to the, I explained already about having all of these game plans. Another good option, especially if you have an epic goalkeeper, is assigning captain to the goalkeeper. In this case, Kasper Schmeichel has captaincy. I'm gonna say it again, I do not recommend getting Kasper Schmeichel. It's better to get Wea or Conceição, and especially Thuram, because these are players that you can get right now. If you watch the video like a month from now, it's not going to matter. Kasper Schmeichel was on a whim. I just like that he is Schmeichel, and he has the name of that little white ghost. So yeah, it was I wanted to have little Kasper Schmeichel. Okay, so if your goalkeeper is an epic, you should put captaincy role on the goalkeeper, because if you have an epic goalkeeper like Dida or Sech, you will never use another goalkeeper. You will never do substitutions. So it's gonna be a super safe choice. So that's for the captaincy. In match roles, here is, oh yeah, okay, free kick. The free kick, I prefer to assign free kickers among forwards, because you don't really want guys from the back like Alexander Arnold. He's a very good free kicker, but you're gonna have a defender fucking around near the goal, and you're gonna get caught in a counter attack, and then you're gonna get fucked, and you won't like it. So yeah, good players do it because they are really good, but numbnuts like me, well, we need to stick to basic shit and safe stuff with a high percentage of success. When it comes to execution, then it's everything about who's playing whom, I guess. Whom? Well, whatever. Again, it's a second language after all. Well, so free kicker, long free kicker, a guy with lots of shooting power, and I prefer a guy like this. And Van der Vaart, either way, Van der Vaart is one of the best. So yeah, if you have this player on this position, well, he should be your free kicker. The short distance free kicker, it can also be Van der Vaart. I prefer in this case Maradona. In my team it will be Messi. Then free kicker 2, I will go again with Van der Vaart. I prefer to have one right dominant leg, one left. So, well, with this team, I guess I will choose free kicker 2, Mbappe. Then corner kicker. The corner kick, it's gonna be either Van der Vaart or Maradona. I think I prefer to kick with the shorter guy. In my case, it's always Messi because he's the best, so I will go with Messi. He's the short one on my team, so no problem. Here, you could choose Maradona or Van der Vaart. I think it should be Van der Vaart, but yeah, I mean, it's your choice. Right kicker is going to be the same kicker, and remember, oh, this is a good one. Check this out. When I assign roles, I explained in the previous video, there is a guy who's going to be counter target. In this case, it's Maradona. So I prefer to keep the counter target as the free kicker, like the free kick and short free kick and corner kick. Why? Because when you switch players during the second half, even worse if you do it the way I do it, which is switching all the midfield, the DMF and the CF. If you switch this guy, all the roles the guy he has assigned are going to be deleted. So this is the way of saving time, having a organized team. In my case, it's Messi, so he's Messi. Or if I switch to Baggio, before the starting of the match, I assign the roles to Baggio, and he's gonna stick with those roles through both periods. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so yeah, it was here, roles. So that's corner, right corner. The penalty should be kicked by the one who has the best penalty shooting abilities. I guess here is York, or in my team it will be Haaland or Messi. And these three, I don't use them. I don't really understand what they are meant to be, or I don't know what is the use of these three options, but I don't think they are actually necessary right now. Okay, so those are the roles, and now, oh yeah, I can't remember if I talked about when you build one of these game plans, they are very good when to save time and don't go crazy when you're gonna play an event. This is something important because it took me like 8 months to pay attention to event rules, and especially against the AI. For example, you have these English clubs. You come here and it says you will get 1,386 points per match. You are supposed to get the final prize, which is position training program, at 3,000. So this means you need to play 3 games. When I was doing this, I was getting 400-500 points per victory. It was too many games. Super annoying, too many games. Not like many games, too many games. And finally one day I realized the points were changing. And I said, well, why? And there is this thing, and this is an explanation on the event, and it says that if you put players that are meant to play this event, in this case, English players who play in the Premier League, you will get more points. So, in here it says the teams that have players for the event and the prizes. All those are all the prizes. So, here comes the game plan. In this type of event, you can choose game plan, and instead of being in the need of creating a complete team out of nowhere, or fixing the team that the AI assigns to you, you go to your game plan Premier League. You can name it whatever you want to name it. I just used Liga Premier Calcio, but in some other account I call these things like Gamba, Pirate, and Pizza. So yeah, just whatever you like. But you go to Premier. These are going to be all English players who play in the Premier League. You exit, and now you get, I think that's the highest amount of points you can get, 2,156. So you need only play 2 games. But of course, this is if you play on Legend. If you press square, match settings, you can lower the difficulty level, but then you get 1,000. So that means 3 games. The thing is, if you're gonna actually play the event, then you should do it on regular or professional. Professional, it's still 3 games. So it depends if you want to have some sort of enjoyment, or if you want to do a zombie play. It's going to be either way 3 games. But if you're not going to play the game and you're going to put the AI controlled match, you can do that. You just leave the controller with the cable plugged, because if you don't, the controller will turn off and the game will stop. And you just go and take a bath, make breakfast, make lunch, go and do some chatting, watch some YouTube videos, and the AI is going to play the game for you. Now, if you're gonna do that, then you do it on Legend, because for the AI it's the same losing a game on on amateur. It's the same. So the AI is gonna lose or win amateur or legend with the same rate. There is the same probability. But if the system wins legend, you get 2,156. If the system loses, you still get like 700, 800 points, which is a lot for a lost game. And the final thing is, if you want to be sure you can get the prize in 2 games, if the AI wins the first match, then the second match you play it on amateur, you control the game for like a minute, score 2-3 goals, and then switch it back to AI controlled, and that's it. You have all your prizes with little to none time wasted. Okay, so that's one of the main reasons for the game plans. They save a lot of time, and it's very enjoyable to have different strategies. And it's even better if you can have strategies and coaches that are actually useful. I used to play with Xabi Alonso, but I always liked possession. So this De La Fuente guy came as a huge reward. All right, so now we talked about the game, the game roles, the plans. Okay, so before I start talking about the building of the team, before I start talking about players, I'm gonna talk about the okay, now before sub tactic, we're gonna talk about something really important, something that I didn't want to use. I waited and I waited and I waited, and finally this year I had to do it because something was done to the passes. They are fucked. They are weird. So, and switching players was also getting very annoying. So if you want to have almost the same experience as the experience you're having without switching anything, but with a little touch of like proper response, you need at least, you go to config 1, config 1 again, and then you press triangle. At least you have to switch this thing, manual cursor change type, player oriented. It comes ball oriented. Don't do it, please. Player oriented. There is many players winning games because new players and lazy players like me don't want to switch something stupid like this, and sometimes it's because you don't understand what you're doing. But what you're doing basically, the switch with the right stick tries to switch to the player closer to the ball or something like that, and what you want is a switch based on your pressing of your direction of the controller. It's gonna be close to the place you are selecting, but oriented to the player you are pointing. It's just so much better. Okay, so this one, player oriented, is very important. Manual pass level 2, whatever, just switch level 1 because it's really bad. It's really bad. And this feels almost like the same thing, but sometimes you press a lot the button, it charges the bar, and the ball goes a little bit stronger. In my opinion, it's even a little bit more accurate. So these two need to be changed. And then tackle type. I can't remember if it's by default shoulder charge, but use shoulder charge. The other one is much more probable to commit fouls, and this one, boy oh boy, you're gonna you're gonna go fight for a ball. Whatever you do, if a guy is putting the back in front of you, is facing the other way, you just shoulder charge the guy. Risk the foul because 50-60% of the times the shoulder charge just like breaks breaks equilibrium on the opponent, and the guy is gonna start tumbling, and you're gonna just run alone with the ball to goal. No defenders. It's gonna be it's an impressive, incredible option. Shoulder charge is used with the R2 button while no L2 button while defending. I think that's the default. In my case, I have that thing in that button, assigned to that button. So yeah, shoulder charge, and then the other things I don't do anything with all these things, and as a general rule, nobody does. Okay, so here is the when you are on the offense. L2 is like the finesse dribble, which I hate. I only use it to do some passes, but it's a despicable piece of shit. And that finesse dribbling is the reason I had to make this amazing team I made. I think I ended up having a better time than the time I was having during 2024, but the team it's actually weird. It's a gimmick team. Okay, so defense, L2 is the shoulder charge. So remember that. Do those changes. It's gonna be much better for you. You're gonna feel it during the games. Okay, so that's that. And now I was going to explain. So that was the buttons. Oh, the sub tactic. How much time? 27. No, it's not that much. Okay, I'm sure I'm missing something, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna put that something on the next video, or in the next video, maybe. Well, okay, so now sub tactic. Guys like Southgate, you can play sub tactic. I'm gonna switch to my main team. You can play sub tactic with the same game style, so you don't actually need De La Fuente or Southgate, but I prefer De La Fuente for two reasons. First, one of his game styles is possession, and the second one, he has two special game styles. He has out wide and possession game. And the good thing about out wide is that it's not a type of game play style that it's it's a play style that not that many people use, so it's interesting. Okay, so the sub tactic, this is important in my opinion as an option. I don't use it that much, but it's a good option for matches in which dudes are going to put markings on your players. And as a general rule, markings are gonna be put on these guys, these two guys. Either if they are midfielders or the other thing. What is the name of the other thing? Wings. Okay, forward wing, something like that. Okay, wait. No. Sub tactic off. Why was off? Why was it off? Fuck. That's a problem. That's why, because I have been showing people stuff and I fucked up things. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so what is this guy right now? Okay, I can, it must be left wing, like forward wing or something. Okay, so it doesn't matter. All right, so it's gonna be, they are going to put markers, people defending from close range. Those two guys, like in this case, this guy and this guy. In this case, this guy and this guy. Sometimes they're gonna apply pressure to this guy or maybe these guys. But these guys for sure, because nobody wants to be attacked by two bastards that stay away from everybody and suddenly you can lob like one of those upper passes. What is the name of the pass for the lofted? One of those lofted passes, and they are completely alone, and then you have to start running and chasing them. So a lot of players put close mark. I think it's marking the name of the. It's here. No, not here. It's here. Individual instructions is one thing I never use. Oh, it's okay. Man marking. Yeah, it's marking. The word is marking. So one way to confuse opponents' defenders and to break strategy for the opponent is applying the sub tactic in the middle of the match without pausing anything. You do it by pressing down for like a second on the cross-like command. You have the analog stick and the other thing, the cross. Sometimes I play with the cross, so it's the left analog down for like a second, and then you're going to be able to switch to your sub tactic. You have to have the sub tactic turned on and activated. All right, so what's going to happen with your sub tactic? Well, it depends on your order. If you want to replicate my order, okay, you need to remember what I said on the first video about positioning and why these guys were positioned the way they are positioned. And then you have to understand that to perform this sub tactic, you need to have very specific players. So that's why some of my players are kind of weird, like Savitzer. So my sub tactic is gonna be like this. Savitzer is gonna go from that AMF to a side CMF. He's gonna go to his official position. He is a CMF. Son was a midfielder, which is not his proper position, and now he is a left wing and he is better positioned. So they kind of rotate clockwise. Haaland was to the side and now he's the only center forward. Messi was a second attacker, but now he's a second attacker positioned on the right wing position. And Bellingham was right midfielder, and now he's an attacking midfielder positioned in the middle of the court. Both my tactics are quite defensive, and they both use this DMF, this defending midfielder. So these guys are not be touched. Are not gonna be touched, so you don't need to worry about them. Now, in order to perform this switch, you need players with lots of positions. For example, Son has both sidelines to the left, so he can perform that switch. I can't remember if those positions were. Oh, okay, I can check. Wait. Position training. Okay, so Son can be also a second attacker and attacking midfielder. And it's a position I like for Son, but in cases of emergency. But it's not something he should be doing because he has no interception. So it's almost a no, but he kind of works because he jumps a lot and he had good kicking power, lots of abilities, and good shooting skills. So yeah, but he has from scratch both left sidelines, so both positions, of course. So Son, it's a go. For example, Savitzer, he can't do what Son does, but he is a complete midfielder, so if you keep him in the middle, not gonna be a problem. In case of Bellingham, you can't do what I did. You need to put the position. Bellingham didn't have nor the left nor the right. You don't have the side positions. And I think it's better to have Bellingham ready for those positions than to turn him into a like second attacker or center forward. And I definitely recommend not using Bellingham as a DMF. Maybe the other Bellingham, the one who's opening his hands, that was given during 2024, maybe. I still think he's not good enough for that position. Not tall enough, and not his defending is not that good. And if you give him lots of points on those positions, on those skills, he's gonna be ruined in. He's the perfect CMF or AMF. But if you want to do what I'm doing with Bellingham, you will have to give him at least the right position. But he's not supposed to play there. I'm using him there because he was my only option and because he is ambidextrous. I'm gonna give more explanation on that like later, but if you wanna use a guy there and he's not a lefty, well, I prefer the ambidextrous. But well, there are options, because if you are not thinking about cutting to the goal and shooting with Bellingham, then you might be thinking again about a player who can center the ball. In that case, Bellingham is perfect for this position, and also players like Ben White. I'm going to show Ben White a little later. Alright, so now Bellingham switches here. Haaland is center forward, and he can't do anything else, so forget about trying anything else. And Messi, he can be everything to the right, because he always wants to cut to the goal and shoot with the left. So Messi is the perfect example of why you should position left players to the right. Now, this movement, the idea is that this movement is gonna make defenders chase these guys to weird positions. And so if there is a guy putting a mark on Bellingham to avoid the wing movement, the wing solo run, after you apply the sub-tactic, the defender is gonna press to the middle and he's gonna leave the right side wide open. Same is going to happen with the, well, to the other side is going to be different, but it still is going to generate, it's going to generate some movement. So the defender is going to try to mark Bellingham, and now Messi is going to be opened, or at least he's going to have more space. In case of Son, well, the defender is going to push so much up to the left that it's not going to be properly defending with the other center backs to defend Savitzer. And now that like the center back is gonna have to face also Bellingham, and Bellingham and Savitzer are going to pull three players, the two center backs and the one that was marking Bellingham, and it's going to be disarray for opponent's tactics. So that's the idea. That's what you do. If you feel like they are applying markings, you can use your sub-tactic. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but I like to just have it activated in case, you know. Now, another thing, which is an important thing, some players, for example, Baggio is my replacement for Messi. So what happens? If I put Baggio in Messi's position and I use the sub-tactic, now Baggio is okay. He's perfect because he has second attacker position. As you can see, he has center forward, SS, that I don't really know what that is, like either second something or Stasi something, Nazi stuff. And the other one is AMF. Every time I say AMF, it sounds like this guy, Tom Cruise, doing like Mission Impossible. Okay, so what's the problem with this? As a general rule, I will prefer to apply sub-tactic, but I would like to have Messi as a wing, for example, like this. Now, the sub-tactic has assigned the switch to right wing. It doesn't have anything to do with Messi. It has to do with a position assigned to the tactic. So, if you have this, now you're back to SS because the position is assigned to the tactic and to the sub-tactic. So when you switch, Messi is fine. I mean, you do like sub-tactic, Messi is fine. But if you put Baggio, he's okay here. He's not gonna be okay here. You see, he's fucked. Now he's completely broken because he doesn't have that position. And also, Baggio cannot have that position so easily. You will have to waste a lot of position trainings to stick two different trainings on the same position to have the lighted green one. So I don't recommend you to do that unless you really want to have Baggio also being able to use the right wing position. And it will be weird because for sure he should be a right wing position, but he's ambidextrous, so yeah, in this case it's okay. That's why I put Baggio in Messi's position, because when he switches, he's ambidextrous, and it doesn't matter what you do, Baggio is always going to deliver, because he's one of the best players in the game. Yeah, and I got it with my free roll on a 150 players box, so it was completely bananas. Okay, so you can do that, and let's see if no. Okay, let's put this thing back in place. Now it's SS again, and remember that when you switch players, probably instructions are going to be resetted. So I switched to Baggio. They took my counter target order, so let's put it back. There you go. You should always check before starting a match that your instructions are in order, because sometimes you touch, you move stuff, and you fucked up your game plan. So I had to drink some tea with honey and lemon, or my throat is going to just ignite. All right, so this is back to order. And yeah, okay, so what I had to do to complete my sub tactic was to pick players. These are easy. Center forwards are just going to be in the center, but for example, Noah Okafor, he gives me options. For example, he can be Son, but he could also be Haaland, and somebody must be stealing some, like a car, because I guess you are going to be able to hear that siren too. But Okafor will be able to occupy Haaland's position and Messi's position. But I wouldn't use him on Messi's position. I mean, his non-dominant leg is high. Well, okay, Okafor is just amazing. Okay, so he gives me options. Luis Garcia is a problem, because this guy is not meant for my game plan. He's not meant for my tactics. But he's so good right now for me that I'm willing to not use the sub tactic until I can assign him 2 times the AMF position. Yeah, so that's a problem. Zielinski gives me options, like he could be Bellingham, but he couldn't be Son, because he doesn't have the wing, the left wing. I could assign that position at some point. I guess I'm going to do it, but not right now. McKennie is one of my perfect AMF, not CMF. He will be at some point. He will probably replace Savitzer completely, or he's gonna be Son's replacement. But for now, he's more like a wild card. He gives me options. Ben White is a defender for me. He's an offensive fullback. I think I already told you about how to save one spot with Costa Curta. And in case of Ben White, he's the replacement for the fullback, but he could also replace Bellingham. I told you I prefer a left dominant leg guy in this position, but Ben White is one of the best centering players. So if you feel like you're gonna play centering, then Ben White is a perfect option to be like starting or replacement for the player you're gonna assign to this position. God, again. All right, so, and okay, the other ones are just defenders. So that's more or less the the explanation on subtactic. There is one more thing. The same thing that happened with Messi and Baggio might happen to you with positions like Bellingham. If I switch subtactic, I have right midfielder, and Bellingham can be AMF. So, oh no, I solved it. I already solved it. But before, Bellingham was rotating and switching to the CMF position. So, and I had Sabitzer as a offensive midfielder. But I already switched it. Why? Because if I try to assign position to Garcia, he's going to be offensive, not defending, not like center midfielder, because that's stupid. He has no defense at all. And if I kept Bellingham as a CMF during the rotation, then Garcia as a AMF will be fucked. So remember those little details, because they're gonna complete your full strategy, and you're gonna feel like actually super like, I can't remember the word in English, but it's like gratification. You're gonna feel pleasure after putting everything in order. And yeah, okay, it's too long. So next video I'm gonna talk about abilities and the choosing of players. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it's useful for you. If you have questions, send them to the message section. If you are annoyed by my voice, well, I'm not sorry, just fuck you. And yeah, I see you next time.